At one point, I thought DC missed a prime opportunity during their current run of movies to move into Flashpoint. If you don't know much about Flashpoint, it's one of those reboot moments in the DC comic verse that was actually done very well and can actually yield some great results, especially in cinema. Maybe they actually are headed that way. I thought they were headed that way when there was, I think it was in Batman versus Superman, where you saw that that scene at the end of the movie where Flash appears to Batman, and I think that was a precursor to Flashpoint. I think that's what they were trying to get to, and it seems like that's what they're trying to do now. And if so, in my humble opinion, that will yield magnificent results done the right way. And I think they have all the tools they need to do it the right way. I think DC just needs to abandon trying to compete with Marvel on their stage. I've said that before, so I'm not going to get into that. There's an article on Bounding Into Comics that sheds some light and says some things about the upcoming Flash movie. I know there's been a lot of drama surrounding Ezra Miller, and who knows what's going to happen with that situation, what they're going to do, whether they're going to move forward with Ezra Miller or if they're going to move on to someone else. I don't know. None of us know. This article from Bounding Into Comics is titled "The Flash Merchandise Artwork Reveal Villain Details and Looks at Supporting Characters, Including Batman and Wonder Woman." This article was written by J.B. Augustine, February 8th, 2023. The Flash's newest trailer is on the way, but many aspects of the film are still a mystery. We haven't seen the villain yet, although it's clear it'll be a variant of Barry Allen played by Ezra Miller. There will be at least 2 of those and could be more, as shots of some of the new merchandise appear to indicate. Now, what I think they're going to have is the Reverse Flash. I am not the biggest Flash fan, so I don't know all the details. I have watched the Flashpoint cartoon, which is very good, by the way. And the Reverse Flash is probably one of Flash's most formidable enemies. And his dealings with Reverse Flash kind of led to the Flashpoint. If you watch the TV series Flash, you saw him dealing with Reverse Flash. And if you've watched Flashpoint, obviously you've seen him dealing with Reverse Flash in that cartoon. I think that's where they're headed. I think that's what we're going to see in this Flash movie upcoming. This merch in question, it is the tie-in Funko Pop line that includes mock-ups of Barry variants as well as figures of Wonder Woman, Supergirl, 2 Batmen, Iris West, and General Zod. A picture shared on Twitter by the Hollywood Handle shows all of them in a first look and strange, ominous being dubbed Dark Flash. Now, in my humble opinion, that Dark Flash is either going to be Reverse Flash or a play on Reverse Flash. I hope they don't change Reverse Flash and make him something else for the movie, because in my humble opinion, there's really not a need to do that. Just stick with the Reverse Flash story. It is a good story, and it launched Flashpoint. And honestly, that Flashpoint led to some of the great moments in DC Comics. Okay, not seen up to this point, Dark Flash has been a suspected factor in the plot for a while. Leaks from test screenings told of a variant of Barry that's been traveling back and forth through time in order to create the perfect universe. By the looks of him, primarily his color scheme, his motives can't be entirely above board. So clearly, this is meant to be a bad guy. Concept fan art by Youssef Defenshi that the Flash film news shared to Twitter too gives off vibes of how nefarious Dark Flash really is. The post also contains a cryptic spoiler with sinister implications. If true, Dark Flash's armor, it says, is made of Kryptonian material. But where did this material come from? That's interesting. I do like the fact that some of these movies sometimes veer from the plot points of the comic book and kind of go their own way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I think a lot of these companies veer off from the plot points of the movie or the comic books when they don't have to. I don't know why that's done exactly. Maybe there's some issues behind the scenes I don't know about. It's very possible. I don't have all the details. If you're not familiar with Flashpoint, I pulled up this little fan page, dcfandom.com, to give you a little idea of what Flashpoint was about. Just some going over a little bit of the plot points of Flashpoint, just so if this thing comes up, if you see it in the movie, you're not completely lost as to what's going on. And I think this is a good opportunity, not only for the DC cinematic universe to be rebooted, I think it's a great opportunity for them to really create fresh energy around their movies, because I think they need it. Flashpoint is a reboot event that ends the continuity of New Earth and starts Prime Earth and the New 52. Changes come about in the timeline after Flash goes back in time to save his mother. The main narrative was published in a 5-issue miniseries, Flashpoint Volume 2, written by Jeff Johns and art by Andy Kubert. But the alternate timeline was explored in a large number of tie-in series and one-shots. And then they go to the history. Barry Allen wakes up to discover he is in an altered timeline in which Citizen Cole is Central City's greatest hero. His mother, Nora, deceased in his own timeline, is alive. His father, Henry, died of a heart attack 3 years ago instead of in prison. And that the Flash, the Justice League, and Superman do not exist. In Gotham City, Batman throws Yo-Yo off a building before being confronted by Cyborg. Cyborg and Batman have a conference with a group of superheroes to discuss how the battle between Aquaman, Atlanteans, and Wonder Woman's Amazons has caused massive death and destruction in Western Europe. With the prospect of America being similarly endangered, the heroes cannot work together to find a solution, and the meeting is disbanded. Barry Allen drives to the Batcave, where he is attacked by Batman, who is revealed to be Thomas Wayne, who took the mantle after the death of his son. And this is the crazy thing about the Flashpoint timelines. Like, things get so messed up, but in a good way. It's almost like Marvel's What If, and it's done very well, in my humble opinion. In the flooded remains of Paris, Deathstroke the Terminator captains a pirate ship in search of his daughter. He, along with his crew, Sonar, I can't remember how to pronounce this name right here. Icicle. I don't know why my brain just went dumb right now. And Clayface are attacked by Emperor Aquaman, who stabs Deathstroke in the chest. Sonar is able to remove a piece of trident from Deathstroke's chest and heal him. Back at Wayne Manor, Barry tries to explain to Thomas Wayne about his secret identity as the Flash and his relationship to Bruce Wayne. Barry's memory begins to spontaneously realign itself to the altered timeline, and Barry learns that the world of Flashpoint is not an alternate dimension, but his own. Barry's ring ejects Professor Zoom's costume and cause Barry to believe that Eobard Thawne is responsible for changing his history. Barry decides to recreate the accident that gave him his powers in a bid to undo the damage caused by Thawne, but the initial attempt causes him to be badly burnt. And Eobard Thawne is Reverse Flash. So again, I don't know if they're going to replace Reverse Flash with this Dark Flash, which again, I understand. I won't offer too much criticism without knowing what's going to happen. I think sometimes people get into that, like lobbing this generic criticism as though you know the movie is going to suck. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I think DC has a very, very good opportunity here to make an extremely good movie that people will actually enjoy. Whether they will do that or not, we will see. I didn't know growing up. One of my friends that I work with, the Flash is one of his favorite heroes. Batman has always been my favorite, and I didn't really have any thoughts on the Flash at all until meeting him, and he kind of spooled me up on what was going on with the Flash and exactly how powerful and important the Flash is to DC's comic book universe. And I was unaware. And it was actually kind of fascinating, interested me a little more in the Flash, and I actually bought some of the books. So we will see how this ends up, how this works out, and if DC will take advantage of this great opportunity.